Okay, so this is Photoshop, of course. So now I want to create something really that is fine enough. First of all, you know how to open it, so we open it. Now to open a new page. We open the new page. Now, next thing you want to do is you like to bring in what you want to create. So something that is easy enough that I downloaded. Okay, I thought I downloaded it. Apparently not. I'm going to download that now. Okay. Alright. So now this. I'm going to click here and drag it into. You can see the copy means it can stay there. Yeah. So you see it's already inside there. So I want to recreate what I can see here. This. I want to recreate this. The one thing I want to do first is to bring this outside. But as you can see, it's not coming outside. So the reason for that is because this is still a canvas. I want to turn this into an artboard so that I can be able to view what I want to do and also view what I'm trying to replicate and also design. To do that, I would come to layer. I'll click on new. Then I'm going to see artboard. It means I'm trying to convert my workspace into an artboard or into different artboards. So I'm going to click on artboard and I'll decide what I want to name my artboard. Just call it flyer 1. Okay, this is nice. So now I'm going to separate this from this. Now it might look complicated, but it's not complicated actually. All I'm doing is just dragging this out of here. And now remember, it was inside here before. I'm going to press Ctrl plus Z. So now it was inside here before. It was inside this frame before, in this folder. It's called an artboard. So it means now I want to bring it outside of this artboard. So it means once I drag it outside, it will come out. So it's trying to tell me right now that it's not currently inside here. That's under this. So now what I'm going to do is you want to create. Now if you look at this, you realize that the size of this is looking like a rectangle. What we have here is looking like a square. So what can we do? We can either reduce the size to this point, look like us here, or we can make it longer. So what I'll do is reduce this instead. I think we have there. Yeah, this should do. Yes, this should do. Maybe just a little bit more. Yeah, this should do it. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to create. Now you can see one thing I want you to do every time you try to design something is that you should look at what are the elements that makes up this design. So one thing you can see is your rectangles, your images, the logo, text, colors, icons, text, and different sections here. So what we can do first is to make it a gray design. That's sort of like it's called a wireframe UI UX, but let's call it a layout here. Yeah, it's called a layout here. So the first thing we'll do is to create, by layouts, what I mean is boxes to represent your sections or to represent the certain things that you want to do. So now let's look at this. This is the first section here. So let's create a rectangle. This is white. So let's just leave it like that. So now I want to create the next one. Next one is an image. So let's come down like about here. Yes, and we create this. Okay, I think this should do. Right now we see that my own rectangle has a curved edge already, and I do not want that because what we are trying to replicate does not have a curved edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the properties. You can see properties here. You can also see them here. Now I've configured mine to be able to show some of those things, but yours might not, so you can see them here. And for any reason that you might not see them here, you can come to Windows and we're going to see properties just about here. Then you click on it, you see mine is selected, so that's why it appears here. So now next you want to do is you can either come here and drag this out so it can be straight, or you can come here, Ctrl Z, or you can come here. This is 49. These are all the individual edges, and you can turn all of them to 0, and you can see this is all 0 right now. This is gone. So remember I said I was going to do a gray version, so it means that I want to turn everything to gray. So I click on the fill. Let me use here because this might be what you're working with. When I click on fill, I'm going to click on this so that I can see different options. I don't want just these options. And now I can see different options. So I want to create, so I'm going to click on, let's come to this particular place. If you notice, this is changing, and because this is changing, it means that that's the particular color that is going to appear. So I want something that is dark enough like this. Yeah, so we have that. I'm going to drag this a bit so it fits. Yeah, so now the next thing you want to do is you want to create the next section. The next section is white. Yeah, is white, so I'm going to leave that. Then the next section is what? Gray, but the gray is not the same length as this, so I'm going to have to reduce this a little bit. By that I'm going to click on this. Now if I want to drag this, if you notice it's getting smaller, and by all the edges, but I want only one of the edge to reduce because it's just the height I want to reduce. How do I do that? I'll hold shift and I'm going to click on, use my mouse to click on the edge, this particular node. This stuff is called a node. This square thing-ish is called a node. Once I click on it, I drag it in. We can see that it's only affecting just one part. Yeah, so now I want to move it to look like what we have in the, to look like what we're trying to replicate, and you can see we have that now. So I'm going to make that let's make that a little bit lighter so you can look like it's a different video entirely. Okay, alright, so that's doing. What else again are we going to do? Okay, so now it's looking like it's an extent. Remember, all we have done is just use rectangles. So right now I want to so right now I want to put an image into this. Yeah, an image. So to put an image, I'm going to have to look for an image I have. Now the way I said, the conventional way to do this is to come here and click on place embedded, and it takes you to where your images are, to your file manager, and sort of look for the images that you want to use. In this case, let's say this one, but then you decide where your images are. Okay, so right now we have this image, and what we can do, because right now if you notice their own images inside the rectangle. How do we achieve that? That's by clipping it into it. And how do we do that? Right click on the image and you create clipping mask. Now for that to happen, the shape that you want to if you want to put an image into a shape, the shape has to be under the image. It means that the layer of the shape right here has to be under the layer of the image. So once you right click on this, you click on create clipping mask. This is going to clip the image inside the shape. So I can move this a bit to look like what I want. And this is weird, but it works for now. So now what can we do? Next thing I want to do is I want to we have this overlay where it's transparent enough to see what's underneath, but okay, I think this should be a little bit bigger. remember we hold shift so that we can drag it down to an extent. Can bring this down small. Alright, so now next thing we want to do is we want to create another rectangle that looks like the yellow one here, but we'll make it transparent. How do we do that? Let's find out. So I'll click on my rectangle tool again, and I'm going to come to the edge of where I want to start from, and when I feel like I'm okay with it, looks like it should be fine. Now release my hand, but right now remember this is still like that, so I'm just going to drag this to the edge. So right now we want to make this yellow, so we'll come here, we'll come to yellow. This is yellow. Let's come down here. This is yellow enough. Let's make it a little bit warmer. That's yellow enough. So okay, this is yellow, but we want to make it transparent. Now how do we do that? If you look at this, it says opacity. Opacity means that how visible that layer is. So for every different layer, it has its own properties, remember. So for this particular rectangle layer, you can reduce or increase the opacity. So we'll see what happens to this rectangle once I reduce this. So once I reduce this, you can see that it's now transparent, but we want it to be just transparent enough. So you can see now that you can see what's underneath. At the same time, the yellow is still yellowing. Okay, so when you have this, I'm going to try and say this because this is Nigeria, anything can happen. So let's just call it like 1. So now we have this. Now what remains, if you check this flyer, is the logo, the text, the QR code. I'm going to zoom into this so you can see it. The logo, the QR code, the text, and different icons and all of that. But I won't be putting all of that here. I'm just going to put some things that you need to know, and that's how to use your text very well. And I'm going to use different shapes to represent all of these other things. So first of all, the first thing I want us to put is the logo here, and I'm going to use another rectangle to represent the logo. I'm going to make it a yellow rectangle. So this is your logo, whatever the logo is supposed to look like, and now your QR code is going to look something like this. So I don't like the edges. No, it doesn't matter because now I actual QR code, but I don't like the edges. So now we have this. I'm going to zoom in a little so I can make the adjustment I want. So let's just imagine this is the QR code. I think it needs to be a little bit smaller. So now we need to put some text here. Now how do you put text on an image? There's a particular tool called the type tool, and if you follow the lessons for a while, you have seen how to use the type tool to write text, and it's simple. Just as you can see, you just click on the place you'd like to type on and just start typing. But in this case I want to do something different, and that's to click and drag. So this now gives you like a text field, and you can decide the size of your text and the width and every other thing you get. So let's make this, instead of 8, I'd like to make this 6. You know what, let's make it 5. 5 should do. And let's paragraph, let's make it aligned to the left. So now we can type. So let's just imagine now what you can see right here, you may not have it on your own laptop, on your own Photoshop, is fine. You can replace it, you can just type any Mine comes with this naturally because this is Photoshop 2023, and you can do that. But for yours, you might not need to pretend, you might not have this, so you probably need to just type the actual text that they're sure you get. So this is how it looks here. And the next thing you'd like to do, let's look at what we have here next. We have this, the best service provider in your city. So let's try doing that. So let's click on this again and draw this again. Okay, now it says the service. I think provider is down. Yeah, provider goes down. So I clicked on enter. Provider. Okay, in your city goes down. In your city. So I need to increase the size of this. So this is 5 currently. I need to take it up to like 20. Yeah, but you can see how it's all bumbled and jumbled together. So that's because there's no space between each sentence, and that's called the leading. There is no leading at all between each of the lines of text. So what we can do is to give it equal size as the size of the text. So the size of the text currently is of the font is 24. Now we can make the space between each of those fonts also 24 and see how it looks. You can see it looks way better. Now if I'm trying to imitate this completely with this, we'll see that we have the first two texts are bold and the last one is not. So let's leave the first ones as bold and the last one not bold. So how do we get that? This is where you find the font, and this is where you find, or this is where you find the typeface, and this is where you find the font you get. But in the normal way, you call this the font style. Let's make this medium so that it can still be a little bit bold. Yes. So you can see it's looking like what we're actually trying to replicate. And let's change this color back to white so it makes more sense and it looks more similar. And we're going to try and bring this to the middle. So yeah, okay, just take it up a little bit. Okay, it has a little bit of text underneath. Okay, we'll do this again one last time. Okay, now that's the problem you don't want to have. You don't want to have this and click on around the same area of something, or click around the same area that has a text already, because it's going to assume that you want to edit the existing text. So you have to take it away from it. Yeah. So one thing about Photoshop is that it's, even if you decide that you want to click, okay, I'm going to tell you that later. But for now, let's try and recreate this small text here, and let's make it 6. Yeah, 6 should do it. Yeah. Right now, I want us to return this from 24 to 6, because remember they have to be equal. So let's make this 6 also, so you can see it looks better. Right now we have only, but we're supposed to have only two lines of text, so let's remove the second one. Okay, this is a lot already. So now I want to increase this from 6 to about, because if you notice this, if you notice this has the line, the space between these two is a lot, so I want to make that, I want ours to look like that also. Okay, I don't know what happened, so yeah, let me just redo that. I'm going to make this 6 and this 6. Yeah, to remove this on this. So now I'm going to highlight this and try and make this maybe 12. Yeah, that's too much. Let's make this 9. Yeah, that should do it. Yeah, that should do it. Alright, so it's looking like what we are trying to build or we're trying to create. And now the next thing we're going to do is to put these icons. You can get your icons from different places, like font also, my font 8 and the likes. So I'm not going to be putting that here, but just search for the icon if you need to use it. So this is another one, and this is another one. So these are just like to represent the icons, show you get. Now there's a trick I want to teach you. That's how to, instead of creating a new one, how to use something you have used before for a new one. So that's me. That's how to. That means I'm teaching how to duplicate. Now, how do you duplicate? You hold on your Alt key, and you press or hold down the particular selection that you want, and you drag it. So once you do that, it helps you to be able to duplicate it into 2. You can do that for literally anything on this page. So right now, our text down here is black, so we want to make this black. So I'm going to drag this here and turn it from white to black so that it can be visible here. And now there's something else I can do. On that, I can drag this inside so it looks more like what we're trying to do. Now this is here. Okay, so I'm going to make this a little bit smaller into, let's say, 4. Okay, that's too much. 5. Yeah, 5 should do. So now let's duplicate this again. Hold Alt key, drag and drop. So it's called the word creative. Then marketing. So let's make this also, let's call it 6. Let's increase the size of this to, let's say, 12. And let's make this 12 also. And one of them was bold. Marketing was bold. So let's make this bold. See, it's all coming together now, but there's a bit of space between this and this, so we'll take this down a notch, and so it looks a little bit like we're trying to create, even if you don't have the exact elements to use. But this is just like to show you exactly how it's supposed to look like. Now you see we have the first one. Let's just duplicate it for like the remaining ones, since we're not going to be putting the actual things yet. Drag this also. Okay, you hold Alt and drag. That's what we're doing. Okay, so you see that right now what we have created is reaching the end, and theirs did not reach the end. So how are we going to fix that? That's by moving one of these ones. Now what am I doing? I'm clicking on it and I'll move it to the other side. There are a lot of shortcuts to make this faster, but you're just starting out, so let's not clog your brain with this. And I'm using, what am I using? I can use the mouse to move it, but I'd rather use navigation keys because that's more accurate. Navigation keys, I mean, like your the directional keys, or what I call it now, those ones I use to go back, forward, on, down, with that, up and down. So yes, so let's move this also. Yeah, this if you're using the current version of Photoshop, you should have things like this. They're called markers. They're supposed to help you to be able to like align your design properly. So you will notice that this has a sort of faint line in the middle. Let's try and create that. So let's move this. It will look like this. Yeah. So this is yellow. I'm going to turn this to gray, but I need a very bright gray so that it won't be too obvious. So let's see. Okay, this is nice actually. So I'm going to duplicate this the same way I duplicated the other one for the sake of consistency, and that's to hold it down. If you are going to do this with this while it is like this, you might not be able to select it. You can see you can't select it. So what you are going to do is you're going to zoom in so you can be able to find that point where you have to click, hold Alt and drag it. Yeah. And the funny thing about Photoshop is that because of this auto select layer that is not selected, even if I'm not on top of the object I'm trying to move, I can move it that way because I don't anything I click on will not be automatically selected. Once I click on this and enable this, it means that if I click here, this is selected. If I click here, this is selected. I don't like it because it makes things unstable for me. I like to be able to move whatever I'm working on without having to be directly on it. So you get. Okay, there we go. We have that. Okay, it's not exactly perfect, but it's a little bit of touching and there is going to be. So now, next thing I want to do is this part. Yeah. So I'm going to do that duplicating thing again. So let's duplicate this and drag it on top of here, and let's make it yellow. Now you see this particular thing that looks like a pen. Once you click on this, it's an eyedropper tool that helps you to sample colors. Once you click on this, it tells you, it gives you the exact color. Yeah, and you can see it has changed our text to that color. But this right here is too dark, so you want to make it a little bit brighter. And how to do that? Just move this a bit. Yeah, so this is brighter and bright enough to show what's underneath. Okay, so and it's about us. We wrote about us. About us. Okay, question mark. Teaching can be a little bit stressful. It's fun. Really fun. So let's move this up a bit. Yeah, okay, this is fine. Now let's duplicate this to represent what's supposed to be under. I think it's two paragraphs. It's two paragraphs. So I'm just going to duplicate this again. Yeah, not exactly what we wanted, but can still work. So now I'm going to select all of this, and by selecting this, I mean I'm going to look layers because I want to duplicate all of this together. So I duplicate these two and also about us. So it's about us, yes. So now I've selected the three of them using Control. I held Control down and selected them. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this, yes, and drag it again. I think it's three. No, it's only two. Sorry. Okay. Control Z. Yes. So let's move this here. This is somewhere around here actually. So let's edit this. By editing, I double clicked on this T sign so that I can edit something I've done before. And it says why choose us. So I'm going to Control A, and that's to highlight everything I'm about to do. Then type why choose us. Okay, so this can now move, and if you notice the way I'm dragging it, it's sort of fitting into the frame. Yeah, that's how they're supposed to work. Okay, this yeah. Okay, so this is looking like what we wanted to create, although we did not use the exact things that we needed. One way or the other, we are able to create something like that. So let's imagine we needed this as an inspiration for our own. We have successfully created it, so we just need to now touch some things and add some things, make it look more like our own. So with this, I'm able to click here how to create a really simple flyer, or at least replicate one to create your own. Now, how do you export what you have done? You can click here to export and export as PNG or export as. I like export as because it gives me different options, JPG and PNG and every other thing you get. So this is what I'm trying to export, and this is where I get the format. So this is PNG, JPG, GIF, and the likes. So I like to choose JPG because that's like it has low the size of the file is low. So I'm going to click on this, but the quality remains the same. And I'm going to save. So I've chosen where I want to save it. I want to save it on my downloads. So I'm going to click on this, and it is saved. And if I want to view it, I come to my downloads folder, and I can see my flyer. So if I click on it, I can see what